My son's secret mistress just walked into our family board meeting claiming she's pregnant with his child and legally owns 51% of our company. She's 19 years old. Let me take you back to how this all started. 3 months ago, I thought I had the perfect family business. My husband built Richardson Industries from nothing, a multi-million-dollar construction empire that employed half our town. Our son Marcus, 28 and married to his college sweetheart Sarah, was being groomed to take over. Everything was falling into place for the next generation. Marcus had always been responsible. Sure, he worked late sometimes, traveled for projects, but that's what dedication looked like. Sarah never complained. They'd been trying for a baby for 2 years, and I could see the strain it put on both of them, but they seemed solid. The first sign something was wrong came during our monthly family dinner. Marcus kept checking his phone under the table. When Sarah asked about their weekend plans, he snapped at her. "I don't know, Sarah. Some of us have real responsibilities." The silence that followed was deafening. Something felt off, but I chalked it up to work stress. 2 weeks later, I was at the office late when I saw Marcus's car still in the parking lot at 10 p.m. But when I knocked on his office door, it was empty. His jacket was there, his coffee still warm, but no Marcus. I found him 20 minutes later coming out of the supply closet, hair disheveled, claiming he'd been checking inventory. Then came the credit card statements. Marcus had started his own business credit card for project expenses. Dinners for 2 at expensive restaurants. A jewelry purchase for $3,000. Hotel stays in towns where we had no active projects. My stomach dropped. This couldn't be what I thought it was. I confronted him on a Tuesday morning. "Marcus, we need to talk about your expenses." His face went white. "Mom, it's not what you think." "Then tell me what it is." He broke down completely. The affair had been going on for 6 months. Her name was Destiny. She was a college student he'd met at a coffee shop near one of our job sites. He'd been helping pay her tuition, her rent, buying her gifts. He was in love. "What about Sarah?" I whispered. "I'm going to leave her. I can't keep living this lie." My heart shattered for my daughter-in-law, but I begged him to think rationally. "You'll destroy everything, Marcus. Our family, the business, your reputation. I don't care about any of that. Destiny and I are planning a future together." The way he said her name made my skin crawl. This wasn't just an affair, he was completely brainwashed. That weekend, Sarah called me sobbing. Marcus had asked for a separation. She had no idea about the other woman, just that her husband of 5 years suddenly didn't love her anymore. I held her while she cried, keeping Marcus's secret like a coward, and I hated myself for it. But then things got worse. Marcus started bringing business changes to our weekly meetings. He wanted to restructure the company, bring in fresh perspectives, maybe hire some younger consultants. My husband and I found it odd, but Marcus had good instincts usually. Then came the legal documents. Our family lawyer called me on a Friday afternoon. "Mrs. Richardson, I need to discuss some concerning papers that were filed yesterday. It appears Marcus has been making some significant business decisions without consulting the board." My blood ran cold. "What kind of decisions?" "He's transferred 51% of his future inheritance shares to a Destiny Williams. The paperwork claims it's part of a business partnership agreement, but the language is unusual." I dropped the phone. When I confronted Marcus that night, he was defiant. "Destiny has brilliant business ideas. She's studying marketing. She could help modernize everything. She's using you. You don't even know her. She's 19, Marcus. You've known her 6 months and you're giving her control of a company your father spent 30 years building." But he wouldn't listen. He'd already moved in with her, filed for divorce from Sarah, and apparently promised this girl our entire legacy. I hired a private investigator. What we found destroyed me. Destiny Williams wasn't just some random college student. She was the daughter of our biggest competitor, Harrison Construction. Her father had been trying to buy us out for years, and when that failed, he'd apparently sent his daughter to seduce my son. The investigation revealed everything. She'd been taking photos of confidential documents from Marcus's briefcase. She'd recorded him talking about our upcoming bids and contracts. She had a whole file of our business strategies, client lists, everything. But the worst part? She wasn't even in college. She was a high school dropout who'd been coached by her father on exactly what to say to hook my son. I felt sick. How could Marcus be so blind? I tried to show him the evidence, but he accused me of hiring the investigator to destroy his happiness. He said I was jealous that he'd found real love. The manipulation was complete. That brings us to today. The emergency board meeting Destiny called using her newly transferred shares. She walked in wearing a tight black dress and heels, her hand protectively over her stomach. I'm sorry to spring this on everyone, but Marcus and I have an announcement. My son looked nervous but proud. My husband looked confused. Our other board members, longtime family friends, looked uncomfortable. We're expecting, she announced with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. And as the majority shareholder, I think it's time Richardson Industries moved in a new direction. She opened a folder and slid documents across the table. I prepared a restructuring plan. We'll be selling our client contracts to Harrison Construction and pivoting to property management. The room erupted. My husband started shouting. The other board members were demanding explanations. But I was watching Marcus's face. Finally, I saw doubt creep in. Destiny, we never talked about selling to Harrison. Well, baby, sometimes partners have to make executive decisions. The mask slipped for just a second, but I caught it. And so did Marcus. How do you know Harrison Construction? He asked quietly. Her recovery was quick but not quick enough. I researched our competitors. Basic business strategy. I stood up slowly. Destiny, what's your last name? Williams. You know that. Your maiden name. Her face went pale. It's Williams. I pulled out the investigator's report. Destiny Harrison. Daughter of Robert Harrison, owner of Harrison Construction. Born April 15, 2005. Making you 18, not 19. The room went dead silent. Marcus looked like he'd been slapped. That's not possible. I slid photos across the table. Destiny at family barbecues with Robert Harrison. Her high school dropout records. Bank statements showing payments from Harrison Construction to her personal account throughout their entire relationship. The pregnancy? I asked. She lifted her chin defiantly. That part's real. The paternity? Her silence was answer enough. Marcus stood up so fast his chair toppled backward. All of this, you destroyed my marriage for a business deal? Your marriage was already over, baby. I just helped you see it. The coldness in her voice finally broke whatever spell she'd cast on him. What happened next was the most savage takedown I've ever witnessed. Marcus, finally seeing clearly, called his lawyer and had the share transfer documents invalidated based on fraud and deception. Destiny tried to claim she was legally entitled to them as his common-law wife, but since his divorce wasn't final, that argument collapsed. The best part? The pregnancy that was supposed to be her trump card became her downfall. When Marcus demanded a paternity test, she refused. When he threatened legal action, she finally admitted the baby wasn't his. Then whose is it? He asked. Her answer destroyed what was left of her plan. I don't know. Security escorted her out within the hour. She was screaming about lawsuits and harassment, but her father's plan had crumbled. Not only did they not get our company, but we had enough evidence of corporate espionage to ruin Harrison Construction entirely. Marcus filed a restraining order that afternoon. He's in therapy now, trying to process how completely he'd been manipulated. Sarah agreed to counseling, though I don't know if their marriage will survive. But at least she knows the truth now. The business is safe. Our legacy is intact. And my son learned the hardest lesson of his life about trust and consequences.